The playground promise. The autumn sun filtered through the oak trees in Madison Park, casting gentle shadows across the playground. Imogen sat in her wheelchair near the sandbox, her hands folded carefully in her lap, watching the other children run and play. At 8 years old, she had learned to smile politely when parents pulled their children away, pretending not to notice the worried glances they cast in her direction. Her father, David Chen, stood nearby, pretending to check his phone. As CEO of a tech company, he commanded boardrooms full of executives without hesitation. But here, watching his daughter sit alone day after day, he felt completely powerless. The accident 2 years ago had taken so much from Emma, her ability to walk, her confidence, her easy friendships. Physical therapy had helped her regain strength in her upper body, but her legs remained still, unresponsive. "Dad, can we go home?" Emma's voice was soft, barely audible over the sounds of children laughing. David's heart sank. They had been at the park for only 15 minutes. "Are you sure, sweetheart? We just got here." Emma nodded, her braided hair catching the sunlight. "I'm tired." She wasn't tired. David knew that. She was lonely, isolated in a world that kept moving while she sat still. He opened his mouth to suggest they stay a little longer when a bright yellow dress caught his attention. A little girl, perhaps 5 or 6 years old, had broken away from the swing set and was marching directly toward Emma with the determined stride only young children possess. She wore a yellow sundress covered in tiny flowers, red leggings, and pink shoes that lit up with each step. In one hand, she clutched a well-loved teddy bear. "Hi," the girl announced, stopping directly in front of Emma's wheelchair. "I'm Lily." "That's your name?" Emma blinked in surprise. "I'm Emma." "That's a pretty name," Lily declared with absolute certainty. She held up her teddy bear. "This is Mr. Buttons. He's very friendly. Do you want to hold him?" Before Emma could respond, a man approached, tall, wearing a gray t-shirt and jeans, with an apologetic expression. "Lily, you can't just run off like that." "I'm sorry," he said, addressing Emma and David. "She saw your daughter and decided they should be friends. She's very decisive." David smiled, recognizing something familiar in the man's eyes, the gentle exhaustion of single parenthood, the protective worry that never quite faded. "It's fine. I'm David. This is my daughter, Emma." "Jake Morrison," the man replied, extending his hand. "And you've already met Lily, who apparently doesn't believe in introductions before making friends. Can we play?" Lily asked Emma, her eyes bright with innocent hope. "I want to build a castle in the sandbox, but it's really big, and Mr. Buttons isn't very good at building." Emma glanced at her father, uncertainty written across her face. David gave her an encouraging nod. "I can't really play in the sandbox," Emma said quietly, looking down at her wheelchair. Lily tilted her head, considering this information with the serious contemplation of a child. "That's okay. You can be the princess in the tower, and I'll build the castle around you. Princesses don't need to dig in the sand. They just need to be royal and give commands." Emma's lips twitched into the first genuine smile David had seen in weeks. "I can do that." "Perfect." Lily grabbed the handle of Emma's wheelchair without hesitation. "My daddy can push you to the sandbox. He's very strong." "Come on, daddy." Jake caught David's eye, a silent question passing between them. David nodded gratefully, and together, the fathers followed as Lily led the way to the sandbox, chattering continuously about her architectural plans for the castle. Over the next hour, David and Jake sat on a nearby bench, watching their daughters play. Lily built towers and walls, frequently consulting Emma on design decisions. Emma, initially hesitant, began to relax, her suggestions growing more confident. She directed where windows should go, which side needed the drawbridge, where the royal gardens should be planted. "This is new," David said quietly. "Usually, kids are afraid of her wheelchair." Haki shook his head. "Lily doesn't really do afraid. Her mother passed away when she was 3. Cáncer. Since then, she's developed this philosophy that everyone is sad sometimes, and the best medicine is friendship. Ismail, though sadness lingered in his eyes. She's wiser than I am. I'm sorry about your wife, David said, the words feeling inadequate but necessary. Thank you. And I'm guessing Emma's situation is recent? 2 years. Car accident. He was driving. David's voice caught. I walked away without a scratch. Hake was quiet for a moment, watching the girls. I've learned that kids are resilient in ways we aren't. They live in the present. They don't carry the weight of, what if, the way we do. In the sandbox, Lily was now placing leaves along the castle walls as decorative banners, explaining to Emma that every proper castle needed flags. Emma laughed, a real, unguarded laugh, and suggested they use small stones as jewels for the throne room. My daughter would love to play with you, Jake had said so simply when Lily first ran over. Not it's nice of us to include you, or we should let her join. Used a straightforward invitation, as if friendship were the most natural thing in the world. David realized he had been so focused on Emma's limitations that he had forgotten to help her see her possibilities. As the afternoon wore on, Jake mentioned that he and Lily came to the park every Saturday. Same time, same place. Lily's very particular about her routines. David met his eyes. We'll be here too. And they were. The next Saturday, Emma asked to go to the park an hour before their usual time. When they arrived, Lily was already there, bouncing with excitement, MR buttons tucked under her arm. Over the following weeks, the Saturday park visits became the highlight of Emma's week. Lily's fearless affection was contagious, and soon, other children began to join their games. Emma discovered she was excellent at being the judge for races, the scorekeeper for contests, the storyteller for imaginative adventures. Her wheelchair became not a barrier, but simply part of who she was, the girl who always had the best ideas, who made everyone laugh, who ruled the sandbox kingdom with creativity and kindness. One Saturday, as fall deepened and the air grew crisp, David watched Emma sitting with Lily and 3 other children, all of them listening intently as she wove an elaborate tale about a dragon who was afraid of heights. Her face glowed with confidence, her hands gesturing expressively. Hake sat down beside him, holding 2 cups of coffee from the nearby cafe. Thought you might want one. It's getting cold. Thanks, David accepted the cup gratefully. Jake, I don't think I've properly thanked you. What Lily did that first day, what you did. Hake shook his head. Lily was just being Lily. But I understand. When Sophie died, I felt like I was drowning. Then a neighbor started bringing meals every Tuesday. Such a small thing, but it reminded me that we're not alone unless we choose to be. David nodded, watching his daughter, his confident, creative, beloved daughter, surrounded by friends who saw her for who she was, not what she couldn't do. Same time next week? Hake asked. David smiled. We wouldn't miss it. As the sun set over Madison Park, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Emma's laughter rose above the evening sounds, free, joyful, and full of promise. And David learned that sometimes, healing doesn't come from